Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here with another Master Duel video for you all. So today we're going to be doing yet another one of our viewer specials. This is going to be number 29. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what exactly we do here in the viewer specials, this is a special series that I like to do about once per week where I feature games from you all, the viewers, since, you know, viewer special. I like to do this for multiple reasons, as I like to talk about pretty much every week. The main one, honestly, is I like giving you all a chance to show off your games. You know, you're always offering some helpful advice in the comments, and I figure, you know, the best way to learn from people is to watch, you know, more than one person play the game. So, different decks, different, you know, points of view, all that fun stuff. Plus, again, I like to give you all a chance to feature your games and show off some decks and plays that we don't normally cover here on the channel. So if you're wondering how you could possibly share some of your replays, if you're interested in doing that, there are a couple of different ways you could do that. The main bit of information I'm going to need is your 9-digit player ID that you see right here. So go ahead and share that. And then obviously you want to make sure that you have replays saved. Make sure that they're saved publicly as well. If you don't save your replays publicly, then I unfortunately am not able to view and then share them. If you want to also include, in addition to your 9-digit player ID, just a little bit of information about the game is very helpful. Like, well, if you want me to look at one specific game, definitely make sure to put either your opponent's name or the date and the time that the game was played at, so that I know specifically which one to feature. And then, yeah, if you're wondering where that you can put this information, then there's a couple of different places. If you check my description, you'll find a link to my Twitter page. Should be right below the link to my Patreon there. But yeah, if you take a look at that link and head over to my Twitter, then I have pinned right at the top of my Twitter profile a tweet where you can reply with that information there. I have that one tweet where I like to curate kind of all those responses into that one tweet there. But if you don't have a Twitter, that's totally cool. You can also go ahead and just throw that information in the comments section of this video, and I'll go ahead and take a look here as well. So for today's viewer special, this week's, we have a few going second games. I decided, since I saw a good number of them among the games I was looking at, that, yeah, I'd feature some games where we play second and try to play out of our opponent's board, or they try to play through our disruption, just to get a little bit of a different, like, perspective there. And then, as always as ever, if your game isn't featured here, then one, know that I did probably see it anyway, because even all the games that I don't show, I do view pretty much almost all of them that get submitted to me. All the ones that I have time to view, which is the vast majority of them. But even then, you know, if your game didn't get featured, you know, feel free to submit even more games. There is no limit to how much you can submit. I just ask that you please don't spam, like, sending me the same game over and over again. That's kind of a surefire way not to get featured, but otherwise, like, yeah, if you've got different games, like, go for it. Just submit as many as you want. There isn't really a limit in that regard. So, alright, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these games from you all, the viewers. Okay, so the first game that we're going to take a look at today was submitted by Jack and Dax, and they have a game where they are playing Endymion versus Sword Soul. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Yeah, I decided to feature this game not only because obviously it fit in the theme of going second, but Endymion is definitely a deck that, like, intrigues me. I mean, I've played against it enough, I think, that I generally get the gist of how it works. It's gonna take a lot of ultras if I ever want to build it, though, is the thing. That's like, that's always what stands between me and all these decks that I'm interested in, is just the sheer number of ultras needed. So, alright, looks like our opponent is starting off with a pretty typical starting line. They just started with a Klesia. Unfortunately, we didn't open Ash Blossom to counter that, or Maxi, or Imperm, or anything, really. Pardon me. But I mean, you know, if it's just like a you know, pretty typical Chi Shao plus Baron, I actually don't really know too much about the resiliency of Endymion. I know, I guess when I play against them, they tend to be able to play through a decent amount of you know, the disruption that I have. Wow, did our opponent not have anything else to send with the Longyan? That's really unlucky if they didn't. If they did, they absolutely should have added a Protoss there, but it doesn't seem like they did. So, just casually looking to see, like, what attributes all the Endymion stuff is. Looks like it's all varied. Thank God we drew that call by. Oh my God, that Maxi. The one thing I do know from, you know, of what they have the Baron, of course. I guess we're gonna have to play it at a maxi, huh? Yeah, the one thing, of course, I do know about Endymion is that, you know, here's the thing, too, about, like, Endymion. I am kind of, like, a little bit anxious about trying to learn it just because, like, I feel like I'm gonna run the timer down to 0. I think that whenever I watch Endymion players play, I'm like, how do you do this within the scope of the timer? And especially because I know for spell counters, you have to, like, click it one at a time, like, to put on and take off spell counters, so, like, wow, you just gotta have, like, lightning fast reflexes, huh? The other problem for me, too, personally, is, like, and this is totally, like, a bad habit of mine, but I really just like, you know, either watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts while I'm playing, like, you know, even if they're games, you know, like, that I'm recording for a video, or that I'm gonna use for a video later, like, yeah, I'll still just cause, you know, I like to get in my Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing time and podcast / video enjoying time often overlap, so, but yeah, I just know that if I was playing Endymion, I would, between, like, trying to do all these triggers and put on and take off spell counters and also being distracted, I just know I'd run down the timer every single time. Very nice royal finished servant of Endymion, by the way, here. I'm kind of just like, I was looking at the extra deck earlier just to kind of spy what's typically in it. I didn't realize this card is ultra. We haven't even really given them that many max C draws either, actually. Well, I mean, we're going to give them more, but up to this point, we haven't given them that many. And you know, I guess this deck doesn't really fear max C as much as others, because it does naturally put out a lot of monster negates. This Jackal King, like, this... I don't know, whenever I play against Endymion, I always find this to be, like, easily the most annoying card on their board. Like, the Endymion itself is actually not that bad to deal with. It's just, like, spell trap negation. I mean, obviously the effect to summon itself is pretty good and destroy your opponent's stuff, but it's these jackals. These jackals are really what gets me whenever I play against this deck. Wow, so you know, I was all saying that we're gonna have to give them a whole bunch of draws to win, but that wasn't even that many. How many times did we actually end up special summoning? It's like the 1, 2, heavy metals was 3, the pendulum summon was 4. Was that it? Because we did not give them that many draws. Their hand wasn't that big. I guess to be fair, they did droplet, but still. Huh. Alright, so that was a very nice going second game from Jack and Dax. Thank you very much for submitting that, especially, you know, going second from the Endymion player's perspective. Again, like I said, I'm pretty interested in this deck, so yeah, any bit of it I can see, I definitely would like to. So let's go and take a look at the next duel. Alrighty, so the next game that we are going to feature here comes to us from Shibi, Texas, who has fairly regularly submitted to the viewer specials here in the past. Thank you, as always, as ever, for those submissions. Today we're going to be taking a look at, let me look at my notes here. Looks like we're going to be playing Sky Striker against Eldlich. So that's actually pretty interesting, because I have not seen Eldlich on ladder, like, at all. Like, since Runic came out, pretty much. Which makes a lot of sense, you know. Runic just kind of edged Eldlich out as the Floodgate deck of choice. Even though Eldlich is obviously still more than viable this format. Looks like our opponent's playing a 60-card variant, which I think if you're going to be playing Eldlich nowadays, like, especially over Runic, I kind of tend to, you know, agree with this person here that you would want the 60-card variant, so. Don't know the reasoning. We called level 3. That's interesting. I wonder what we're... And actually let me know in the comments, like, level 3, because I'm always, reasoning, I never know what to call. It's it's one of those, like, very minor things that I'm always interested to see, like, what other people call, and, like, their reason, I didn't even, wow, unintentional pun, their reasoning for calling that number. Alright, let's see, looks like we're starting with an upstart, and then I imagine a Feather Duster relatively shortly after that. Yeah, the Dynamiscus on this is totally fine. Like, even if we didn't have the linkage, that would be totally fine. Also, opening multiple linkage plus Ray. Well, I think the Eldlich, though. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to OTK through that. Nah, they did have a counter trap. Well, you know, their Eldlich is gone now. Ah, but the problem is... Well, no, if we summon Bray... Yeah, okay. This might still... Well, because we can go into Zeke, right? So this should actually still work in theory. We should still be able to OTK. Or not? Hang on. I'm trying to think for a second. No, because we'd have to go into Kagiri to get back the linkage, right? Ray's effect only sacks herself. So yeah, we can't use Ray and Hayate off of Ray's effect to go into Zeke. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna say, now we have to go into Zeke just to get a monster out of our main monster zone, though. Yeah, Zombie World doesn't really do anything at Sky Striker, right? Like, we don't care about our types. Ooh, we're playing the Therion build. Nice, okay. Yeah, I thought about trying this. I have had a couple of comments asking if I'm gonna play really any Therion variants. I don't honestly have plans to right now. I'm not really particularly interested, like, in the archetype, and even, I don't know. I'm not saying I'll never play Therions, but like, I don't really want to play Therion ABC. Not that I'm disinterested in the deck, I just don't have like anything for it, and I'd have to craft everything for it. Which, like, I don't know if it's a deck that I'm like so interested in that I want to do that right now. I don't really want to play Therions and Sky Strikers. I think I prefer the going second OTK build, and pure Therions like don't super duper interest me. So yeah, unfortunately at this time I do not have plans to feature Therion. Oh, let's see, that Feather Duster, what did they hit? They hit Widow Anchor and Linkage. I mean, Widow Anchor in this matchup doesn't... Oops, I didn't mean to fast forward. It doesn't really do that much, so it's not really that big of a hit. Let's see, looks like we're going for a Shizuku here during their end phase, so we can do some searching. Yep. Ooh, that Engage is super good top deck. That was really nice. Oh, thank God we hit on that. I'm trying to think, if we hadn't hit on that Area 0, do we play a second Zeke? Oh, we do, actually. I've actually kind of been considering a second Zeke. I've definitely seen where it can be very useful. I'd probably drop Nightmare Unicorn. I'm playing that and I've never... that's not true, actually. I was gonna say that I've never come close to summoning it. That's actually not true at all. There have been times I've definitely considered summoning Nightmare Unicorn. I don't know. It's, I don't know. Like here, this is a situation where Nightmare Unicorn would actually be pretty good. Assuming it can be summoned, right? A Nightmare Unicorn, yeah, Nightmare Unicorn's a fiend, so. See, they were at what, 6,000? Can we not have, oh, because we don't have, yeah, we can't go into Sleep. So yeah, I mean, to be fair, if we had Nightmare Unicorn there, that would have been access code, but like, at the same time, the second Zeke is really good and tends to come up a little more often, I think, than the Nightmare Unicorn does. Like, even if it happened to have been able, even if we happen to have been able to use Nightmare Unicorn effectively here, you know, I can tell you from the amount of time I played Sky Striker that it doesn't come up super duper often, honestly. Or at all. Again, I haven't summoned it once now that I think about it, so. This Baller Dock on our field is so nice. It's so nice. I didn't even really realize that we can negate so many of our opponent's effects just by virtue of having this in play. I'll have to keep that in mind, actually. If I play against a zombie deck, like, try to steal their Baller Dock, whether it's with, like, Widow Anchor... Well, I guess Widow Anchor would negate the effect, but... Shark Cannon wouldn't, and Dark wouldn't either. Dark the Dark Charmer. Yeah, but here it's over, right? Okay, we're just gonna go for the access code. I think we're just straight up going into it right now. Yep. Ooh, but we're still 100 short, aren't we? I just realized that. But they conceded it anyway. Oh, that's awesome. Were we 100 short? I think we were. Weren't they at 44? I just saw that number. You'd think I'd remember it. Jeez. Well, in any case, thank you, as always, Zever, for submitting their shimmy. It is very much appreciated. All right, we've got one more game to take a look at. Let's jump straight into it. And our final game submitted comes to us from Lord Saver, who has submitted a game. They are playing Adamancipators against Endymion. So let's go ahead and take a look at it here. Yes, and that will be on this is the perspective of Endymion I'm used to being on, which is watching them combo a lot on turn 1 and trying to figure out like when to use my disruption / if I can break their board. Ooh, we drew a max C. That's definitely good to have against, I mean, any deck turn 1. Okay, yeah, that's a good enough time to fire off max C, I think. I probably would have waited until they had another scale, or they'd activated this effect, but, I mean, they're gonna want to summon anyway, so. We're going to ultimately accomplish either, like, stopping their turn or getting some out of draws, I think, here. Okay, I see what happened here. So I think the opponent kind of thought that because they had triple tactics talent... Huh. I don't know. It seems like because they had it, they thought they should play through max C, but I don't necessarily think that's right here. I mean, I obviously don't know my opponent's, or my, jeez. Just so used to, you know, sharing my games, of course, but I don't really know what's in your opponent's hand here, but I can't, triple tactics talent does not seem like enough of a reason to play through max C. I don't know. On turn 1 anyway. This is something I talked about quite a bit, and it does, to be fair, vary from deck to deck, but there are not very many decks, I think, where I see myself wanting to play through a max C on turn 1. Unless I, you know, already had, like, an Omni-Negate on play, like, if it's Sword Soul, and... I don't know, no, not even then, right? Like, because then you just give your opponent a bunch of resource. That's really the main thing, right? Is that, like, beyond getting Nibiru'd, you just give your opponent so many resources to break your board, and like really just about any opponent who's, you know, built their deck in a way where it's ready to take on, you know, the meta is gonna have a way to break your board if you give them enough draws. Like if you give your opponent, like, I'd say more than 3 draws, like you should frankly expect your board to get broken. That's just kind of, and you know, that's why I don't think it's typically worth it to play into Maxi on turn 1. Like every now and then I'll see a comment of like, you know, oh, on turn 1, all you did was, like, summon a weak monster and then end after they max seed. And it's like, yeah, I'd rather just end on nothing but a weak monster most of the time than, like, have my full board and be up against an opponent with, like, 12 cards in hand, you know? Like, because they're just gonna, like, they're just gonna have it. They're gonna, like, imperm my negate, they're gonna drop it, they're gonna Dark Ruler no more. Like, they're so much more likely to have it. And that's, again, assuming they didn't Nibiru you along the way. Like, you could make the argument that Endymion puts out a bunch of negates and just has a bunch of natural negates, but they had to summon a lot to get to this point, and even then they don't have any negates on board right now because they don't have any spell counters. Well, they have 5 actually right here, so... That's right, because Jackal can take them from anywhere, right? Yeah, from your field, so... Oh, and I guess the Celine had the spell. Okay, so yeah, they did have spell counters up, but they did have the Jackals up before this point. I don't know, I just, like... It's very risky. It was definitely very risky. You can't deny that. If nothing else, you can't deny that it was an extraordinarily risky play. I definitely say it was a hedge. Alright, so what all do we have to play through here? Or like try to fight through? Got 2 Jackals, 3 Jackals. Oh my god, actually, there's 3 Jackals. And a total of 6, 12. So they, oh my god, they have like 6 monster negates, plus the Appaloosa. I actually don't really know why they even bothered bringing this out. It's only got 1600 attack, and they've already got 3 Jackals in play, but alright. I mean, I guess to be fair... No, this is any monster effect. And it's not... Well, it is once per turn. Oh, it is once per turn. I didn't think it was for some reason. Okay. Alright, see the call by on the Endymion to force that out here. So there's 5 monster negates and an Omni negate. You know, for Adamancipator with a hand this big, that's actually not unreasonable at all to play through, so. Yeah, for some reason I thought this whole time the Jackal King was not once per turn. I guess because they always have multiple copies. It's a soft once per turn, which means that, you know, if they have multiple copies, each can use the effect once per turn. And much like Mirror Jade, if they were somehow, I don't think Endymion can do this, but if they were somehow able to destroy and then resummon the Jackal on the same turn, they could reuse the effect again that way as well, so. Let's see, I kind of lost track. I just took a sip of water. How many Jackal effects have they used? Is still only one? Okay, there's two. I know they've already used this. So, like, yeah, I mean, by this point they have, like, what, one more negate left, and we've, like, barely gotten started with our plays here. I guess, to be fair, we already did try to use the Analyzer and the Researcher effect. Oh, no, we haven't tried to use the Analyzer effect yet. Okay, oh my god, yeah, it's over. Like, it's over at this point. Trying to think. Yeah, Dragite. What all would I bounce here? Obviously this. And then I guess just all this other stuff. I mean, our pro doesn't exactly have a scale set up. Not just adds cards, doesn't summon them, so. Well, you know, if we bounce these, our opponent will have a scale. That is fair. Actually, what scale are these? 4 and 8? Okay, so, like, if we can somehow, like, banish Endymion, but then bounce all the rest of the stuff with Dragite, that would be fine. I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. I should probably just watch and see how it plays out. Oh, duh, we have a Dragite. I was like, wait, we have an Adamancipator monster in play? I'm so used to looking for the other, like, researchers, like the tuners. I always forget that, oh yeah, this big synchro monster actually counts as an Adamancipator. Alright, going for the Prank Kids line to see. Oh yeah, like, it's so, especially with a deck like this, like, because again, our opponent had, what, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, well, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus Appaloosa was 6, 7. Our opponent had 7 negates, but I don't know, for a deck with Adamancipator. Well, again, we also had so many resources because our opponent went for the, what do you call it? They played through the Max C. Oh god, yeah, we still have 6 cards in hand. Have we normal summoned? We did, okay. Oh, I see. We're just gonna, like, banish their whole board one by one with the Cheng Yang here. Oh, I just realized we didn't activate Dragite's effect. Yeah, I think we could have Dragite to bounce some of their board. But, oh well, it's not that big of a deal. Because it looks like we're just gonna punch them with access. Oh yeah, we got access code. And they're not even at, yeah, they're at 4,900. Yeah, it's over. That's so ridiculous. Oh my god. Oh, Adamancipator's gotta love it. I actually do plan on coming back to this deck myself now that Block Dragon actually is at 1. I guess last time we posted the Block Dragon build. Oh, but that's right. I had to decide if I was gonna lean into the Naturia Extria build or not. I don't know if I am. It feels, it's not bad, but it feels a little Windward for sure. Like, I don't know. I guess I'd have to test more with the deck, but I'm not, I mean, in general, you know, generally speaking, I'm not really, like, scared enough of Runic that I feel the need to play that engine. I want to figure out if it's actually optimal or not, honestly. Alright, let's see. What can our opponent possibly do? I'm trying to figure out how they could possibly hope to play through our board here. Because they don't, yeah, they don't have an extra deck. Well, they do now, I guess. Yeah, not that they really, like, I don't know. What are they really gonna do? Like, what are they really gonna go into, right? Wait, did we not attack for lethal? Oh, because we attacked with Gigantes, that's right. To battle over the Appaloosa. I remember now, okay. Alright, at this point I feel like we're kind of just like in like the opponent, waiting for the opponent to concede, like we're just in the concede waiting room. There we go, okay, yep. I knew it was coming at some point, because like, yeah, there's no way you're playing through this board, I don't think. It's just, to be fair, again, as I stated earlier, don't know a whole lot about Endymion, but it seems like our opponent in this case, I guess, kind of like shotgunned a lot of their resources out on the first turn, so, well, no, yeah, it was the first turn, so. In any case, though, thank you, Lord Saver, for submitting that game. I appreciate you and everyone who submitted games very, very much. It is, as always, is ever appreciated. I love doing this series, and I love that we've been able to keep it going for so long. So thank you. That's all because of you all that we've been able to do that. In any case, let's just go ahead and move on with the outro now. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching all the way to the very end of the video like this. That means a whole lot to me. Not just personally, but it's also a great way of supporting the channel as well. If you're interested in supporting the channel in other means, you can of course feel free to comment and or subscribe right here on YouTube. I'm always looking to the comments section. You guys leave some pretty awesome feedback as far as like constructive criticism goes when it comes to deck building, gameplay, channel content, all that stuff. So feel free to leave your opinion down there. I will be sure to take a look at that there. And then subscribing is going to be the best way to get notifications of when these videos drop. That does happen every day, by the way, so if you're looking for daily Master Duel content, you've come to the right place. And there are more places where you can get some daily Master Duel content. If you check out the description below, follow the top link over to my Patreon page. There for just $5 a month, which is as much as you pay for a booster pack. You'll find a lot more value than a pack full of filler over there. We've got some previews for content upcoming here on the channel. We've got some exclusive games that are only posted over on Patreon over there. We've got some Q&As, and then you can also have your name featured in this lovely credit sequence where I thank all of the people who are helping contribute over there on Patreon. It's a huge support to the channel, and it really means a lot as well. So thank you everyone who is donating that is featured here on screen. And again, you know, it's not just a pure donation, you do get some more daily Master Duel content over there just for being a part of the Patreon. But I think that's about all the time that I have for today's video. Once again, I just want to thank you so very much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. Again, it just means a lot as I do put a decent amount of work into getting these videos out every single day. But that's about all the time that I've got for now, so without further ado, this is Xlex. I'm signing out, and I hope you have a fantastic day.